videos that are going to make you question reality. Let's just start.
So, I was curious the other day and found this online. McDonald's sells 6.5 million burgers in one single day. That's 195 million burgers a month. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't see cows lined up around every corner waiting to be turned into patties. I mean, seriously, do the math. Even if you stretched one cow into a bunch of burgers, you're still talking millions of cows just to keep up. Every day. So I started asking myself, where are all these cows coming from? Is there some secret super ranch hidden underground? Are they growing cows in labs, cloning meat behind closed doors? People laugh it off, but think, when was the last time you even saw a cow farm big enough to supply this madness? And don't say imported beef, because even globally, the numbers don't add up smooth. And look, I'm not saying it ain't real meat. I'm just asking the question no one wants to. What the hell are we eating? Because if it ain't cows, then what is it? Remember, I'm not insinuating anything. I am simply asking a question.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
This is why you should never explore abandoned houses, because once these guys approached the stairway, something seemed off when they noticed a wire hanging from the ceiling. After looking from another angle, they found what looks to be a makeshift booby trap with a knife set to trigger when anyone walks up the steps and land right in the person's throat. After analyzing the trap for a few minutes, they decided to activate it to see what would happen if they walked up the steps. And just as they predicted, the knife would have landed right at their throats if they walked up the steps.
Those people running those countries, they are not Muslim. They have been put there by the Khazar dynasties and mafias. Those are not Muslim leaders. They use Islam as a profession through their mouth but have nothing of Islam in their heart. So even when they made false Islamic armies, they called them the Khalifa, it was made from these people. They don't adhere to anything from Islam nor from the way of Sayyidina Muhammad. So there is nobody that represents Islam on this earth. That's why they wait for the promised Messiah, Imam Mahdi salam, to come and bring back the heavenly kingdom, the heavenly love and mercy and compassion. So what exists upon this earth in all religions is false. When they say, oh this is the Muslim people, look how they did the Khalifa, this Daesh, this was Dajjal. That had nothing to do with Islam, not its conduct, not its belief, nor in its practices. It was complete Dajjalic system designed by Dajjalic people.
Y'all just not gonna learn until it's too late. Roll the clip.
That's from hair braid. She caught that from this hair right here.
I don't know what to do. They gave me medicine. I don't know, y'all.
That's disgusting.
But this do not look like eczema. This look like something else.
Your skin is reacting. That's
Now
nasty.
before we keep going and I show y'all what I got to show y'all, can we please just chill out on the whole everything in America come from China, oh everything is not as expensive as they charge us for it. If you are living in America where they are known for manipulating every single thing that they can, and you gonna act like you did not know that they are paying way less than what they are charging us just to make the things that they are making, then I don't know what the fuck you've been paying attention to. But needless to say, it's y'all the ones spending all this goofy ass money on somebody's first or last name, so-called name brand clothes. But let's really point out the elephant in this room. Every government work for the same people. They are pretending to act like they are against each other. They are pretending to act like they are opposite sides. They all work for the Leviathan.
This is how hair extensions are made, and you're not gonna believe the process. So he first gets a bunch of this material, which can be anything like PVC, silk, or acrylic. After filling up a tray full of this material, he's gonna cook this in the oven until the material is nearly melted but not fully, because after he takes out the tray, it should look something like this. He then takes a thick brush and creates strands by extending it up, then starts to weave, and this part can take several minutes. Keep in mind this is artificial and not made from real hair, but the final product looks very realistic.
Someone tell me how this is legal. Apparently self-driving cars can fry your phone's camera if you try to take a picture of it. This black box on the top of the new Volvo EX90 is called a LiDAR sensor. It's basically an infrared camera that helps your car see. Well, some guy on Reddit discovered what happens when you try and take a video of it. This guy took his iPhone 16 Pro Max and pointed his camera straight into this black box. He zoomed in close and, well, it fried his phone. The result was a permanent red and purple pixel explosion that effectively ruined his camera. Volvo actually specifically warns against this. They say it's like looking into the sun. Don't do it. LiDAR basically fires laser light pulses in all directions at all times. Those lasers bounce off of different objects, creating a 3D map of the world around it. To our naked eye, those lasers are invisible and harmless, but when a camera's image sensor picks up on those powerful lasers, it can etch a permanent pattern into your camera. LiDAR sensors on self-driving cars are becoming more and more popular. It's simple. Just don't point your camera at them.
Nobody knows this. Yeah. Nobody knows it. And it sounds fucking like magic.
Okay.
But apparently if you take a seed of a plant, it could be like a fruit plant, right? Like a fruit tree.
Yeah.
Put it in your mouth, take it out and plant it. The plant will give whatever fruit it bears more vitamins, more minerals that you are deficient of based on your saliva.
Really?
Yeah. Now check this out. Traditional farmers. You ever wonder why farmers markets have the best produce, best fruit, best vegetables, everything?
Why?
Because traditionally, farmers, when they plant the seeds, before they plant it, they put it in their saliva.
Lying.
No, that's what they do.
Holy
yeah,
shit.
It's like part of their practice. They put the seed to moisten it with their saliva, and then they plant it.
Oh.
But I think over time, that just being the tradition, it was lost in translation, because back in the day, they definitely practiced all of these holistic health things, where what it was actually doing was getting the plant to understand your biochemistry. It's crazy, but it sounds like fucking magic.
No, real shit.
It sounds like magic.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes.
Wait, so but that would suck though, because it's only one guy.
Yeah. So we would have to plant our own food.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
If you back it, like that's what we're supposed to do from the start.
So the NOAA says that we are going to have an above average hurricane season. And they say that you need to stock up on food and toilet paper and all these different things for at least the duration of the year. Yeah, like the whole entire rest of the year. Yes, this is the National Oceanic and Atmospherical Administration. Now that means that they have seen something that they've probably not seen before or in a long time when checking out the radar as it pertains to hurricanes. And honestly, I'm not surprised, because guess what, y'all? The Bible says that in the last days that these weather catastrophes will be in diverse places, and it will intensify and have more frequency. So it'll be more frequent and more intense. And as the years have been going on, and as we have been approaching the time of the end, we have seen hottest summers on record, or coldest winters on record, or most tornadoes on record, or most earthquakes on record, and all these different things. This is not me trying to scare you. I'm just relaying news that you probably would not have researched on your own. And so if you live in these, and it doesn't even matter at this point, because it seems like bad catastrophes are going to happen in diverse places anyway. But if you happen to live in these areas, like the Louisianas, the Floridas, if you happen to live in those areas where hurricanes, they hit and they hit hard, I would go and do your own research about what the NOAA is saying about this hurricane season, because it's going to be the worst on record. And so I'm just saying, I'm just the messenger, okay? I'm not trying to fear monger. Go do your own research for yourself.
And John Rahm with a nice water skip. Wow. Right under the green, and look at her curve. No way. Have you ever seen anything like this, John? No fucking way. Pardon my language, but holy shit, what? Don't do it to me. Don't do it! Oh my God!
Crazy.
Is there anything on planet Earth that John Rahm cannot do? And to think, I tried to get him to stop doing cocaine last night at the Tiki Bar. No, he has earned it. In fact, tonight, this one's on me. Good golly.
Okay, China is leading so far ahead in the AI race that at this point it's hard to see where they won't lead. They just revealed 100 self-driving mining trucks which haul coal 24/7, completely unmanned. Not only are these fully autonomous, but they're fully electric and charge themselves at a electric docking station when they're running low. They can load, haul, dump without any human intervention, and they even speak with the other trucks to understand what the schedule is. This entire operation now is completely unmanned. China is showing the entire world firsthand where we are heading.
So in Harvard Medical School, the medical school morgue manager has been stealing and selling body parts on the black market. You heard what I just said? The morgue manager at Harvard Medical School has been stealing and selling body parts on the black market. Oh, you don't believe me? Look at this shit. Cedric Lars, the former Harvard Medical School morgue manager, pled guilty to stealing and selling body parts on the black market between 2018 and 2020. This guy was selling brains, organs, different body parts of people who lost their life. Scary part about this whole thing is, if he wouldn't have got caught, he would still be doing it.
Of course,
Cedric is facing up to 10 years in prison, and they might give him the whole 10 years. I guess Harvard Med is really not the place to be if you're on the morgue side of things, if you understand what I'm saying. Pay attention to your kids. Make sure you know what's going on with your kids when they go into these colleges. I'm out.
I'm so glad all of our FYPs are synced up, because what do you mean that Cane Corso bowed to that smaller white mutt-looking dog named King Charles? When I tell you, I saw another creator make this, and I'm going to tag his video below because his sentiment is how I feel. I've never wanted a prequel to a dog's life more than I have now, because how did this dog become the king of the pack to the point where German Shepherd just turned around and left? He was like, I can't look him in his face. Cane Corso immediately bowed down. I've never seen a dog bow to another dog. And then the dog that was causing all the chaos, he just goes over, puts his paw on his chest, lays him down. But the dogs go on their back automatically. That's the thing. He didn't have to flip him over. The dogs just fall and submit. And then the alpha dog just puts his paw on his chest and says, hey dog, you doing too much. I need you to calm down. I need you to bring you up here. I need you to bring it down here. How did this happen? No joke, and this is not hyperbole. First time I saw that video yesterday, I literally watched it for 17 minutes. The same video I watched for almost 20 minutes because I was fascinated looking at all of the other dogs react to this smaller, kind of scraggly dog who is just clearly the alpha of that compound, because they showed a couple of examples of him just coming, walking up. Dog didn't bark once. The dog didn't bark once. I'm obsessed with this video. What? So good. I need to know this dog's life immediately.
Crazy. That's scary.
Brace for impact. 2026, if you haven't heard me say this already, President Trump turns 80 on June 15th, next year. America turns 250 years old next year. World Cup is coming here. IPO market's going to open up. 2026 is going to be the most magical year to be living in America in our lifetime. Let me say it again. 2026 is going to be the most magical year you've ever lived in America in our lifetime.
Scientists are using AI to hack Wi-Fi routers to see you in your home like a camera.
So what they did is they had, a camera looking at a space with people in it. That's sort of like coming in from one eye. The other eye is the radio signals, so sonar from the Wi-Fi router. And they just learned to predict, like, this is where the human beings are. Then they took away the camera. So all the AI had was the language of radio signals bouncing around a room. And this is what they're able to reconstruct. Real-time 3D pose estimation, right? So suddenly AI has turned every Wi-Fi router into a camera that can work in the dark, specially tuned for tracking living beings.
No real cameras, no microphones required, just the invisible waves bouncing around your house right now, watching you breathe, move, and even sleep. And the scariest part, you wouldn't even know it's happening. Wi-Fi routers don't just send out internet, they send out radio waves that bounce off everything in your house. Your walls, furniture, your own body. Every time you move, even just slightly, those waves change. They bend, scatter, and reflect differently. And now AI can read that change and that chaos like a book. Thanks to breakthroughs in machine learning, scientists have trained models to analyze these patterns and reconstruct your physical movement, your position, your posture, using nothing but Wi-Fi data. This isn't a conspiracy theory, this is peer-reviewed science. MIT created a system called RF Pose, which can track people through walls. Carnegie Mellon University used 2 off-the-shelf routers to create silhouette images of people moving in a room. Other researchers show this can be done with an almost 100% accuracy. Again, no camera needed, just your Wi-Fi. This is the kind of thing that just decades ago was military grade. Now it's just software and some smart routers. Of course, publicly the narrative is a little different. Researchers say that this tech could be used for elderly care, detecting falls or health emergencies, which it could be, to be fair. Sleep monitoring, tracking breathing patterns or movement, both of which it can do. And security systems, spotting intruders even if the cameras are off. But here's the big catch with this, you wouldn't know it's happening. And that's where things get dicey. This tech doesn't need your permission. It doesn't need a camera lens or a microphone, just a Wi-Fi signal and someone with the right software. Imagine a world where your landlord can track when you're home, or a hacker can watch your movements through your own walls. Or worse, governments use it for passive surveillance, saying, hey, we didn't record anything. We know that's not far off. In fact, patents from big tech companies have already hinted at using Wi-Fi for non-contact monitoring and surveillance programs. They love anything that leaves no trace, and if they're patenting it, you know they plan on using it. So how do you stop it? Honestly, you can't. Not easily. The only way would be to completely shut off your Wi-Fi, or wrap your house in a Faraday cage, and let's be real, that's not happening. We're heading into a future where every signal is a sensor. Where your internet doesn't connect you, it watches you. This is the kind of tech that changes the rules. It blurs the line between convenience and control, between connection and surveillance. So what will you do? Switch off the internet, go dark, or just allow this to happen?
So I want to show you guys something. I had my implants removed in 2020. Yeah. And they've just been sitting. Look at that. That goes inside of a human body. Look at the mold. No wonder why women are having so many complications with these things. It's disgusting. Those suckers are heavy.
In your body.
Let's look at the other one.
Crazy.
Let's see how bad this one is.
So disgusting.
Look at that. That's inside the implant. Like, ew. I am so thankful I had my breasts explanted. Women, if you're suffering from any sort of symptoms, definitely check out BII, and this is what the inside of your implants probably look like.
Snapchat is going to be shutting down next month. Snap Inc. came out with an official statement saying, It is sad to announce that after 14 long years, Snapchat will be shutting down. Snapchat has been a platform and home for over 850 billion people, and we appreciate and thank each and every one of you. While we know that this may be upsetting for some, know that Snap Inc. at some point in the near given future will be releasing a new app somewhat similar to Snapchat. Servers are shutting down June 1st, 2025. So before Snapchat does shut down, make sure to back up all of your memories and all your photos on there to your camera roll. With some people saying the reason they may be shutting down is because they have no more money. They're paying out creators 40 to 50K in a month, and Lacey said that was a mid-month for Snapchat, so this just shows how much money they're flushing down the drain. And it seems like a bunch of platforms are all shutting down right now. Recently, Skype just shut down. After literally 22 years, Microsoft shut it down. And with this, other big brands are using this opportunity to clown on Snapchat and their AI. So what do you guys think of this whole situation?
West Point wasn't the only thing on the president's agenda today.
I'm going back now to deal with Russia, to deal with China.
He just leans it.
Trump has not been shy about standing up to the dangers posed by Russia and China, and now he has a plan to defend us from any potential attacks by the new axis of evil.
I promised the American people that I would build a cutting-edge missile defense shield to protect our homeland from the threat of foreign missile attack. And that's what we're doing. We'll have it done in about 3 years. Once fully constructed, the Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they are launched from space.
His announcement has China and Russia in a full-fledged panic. Russia's deputy foreign minister says they are taking these, quote, grounds for concern very seriously, and it sounds like China is just as worried.
China is seriously concerned about this. This highly offensive system violates the principle of peaceful use of outer space. It will exacerbate the risk of turning outer space into a battlefield.
Joey, I want to come back to you on this because there are critics that are drawing comparisons to President Reagan's Star Wars program that didn't get off the ground, for lack of a better term. But this is a different time.
If you understand the Cold War, the reason why Sputnik and getting to the moon was so important was the idea of nukes in space. That's what it was all about. And that's what this is about. There are a lot of people in this country, I can't say I'm one of them because I don't know the physics behind it. There are a lot of people in this country and world that believe nukes are already in outer space. It's a high likelihood. So when we talk about the Golden Dome, you got to think completely differently than what they have in Israel. Really what makes a dome is the detection opportunities. It's not the munitions. We've developed the munitions. We've actually finally caught up with guided hypersonic missiles as of this year. But when it comes to the detection, how do you detect even these slow moving drones? And so what the president is saying is you're not going to be able to develop a weapon that can get by us.
Sky is not real. Because we can't fathom that. It's like, how can the sky not be real? It isn't. Just like the planes that you see that you think are spraying chemtrails are not really there. It's hologram. It's part of the sky machine. I said it. The sky machine.
Not too sure how many of you are ready to hear what I'm about to say, because millions of people will just think it's nuts. I hope you're ready to hear this. The sky is not what you think it is. The blue, the clouds, the aeroplanes. Technology. This domain has been covered like a fish tank. And I feel like only a small select of people know this, because go on TikTok, search up Sun Space Man. He gets into all the details regarding the sky. He gets into great detail about it, and everything he says resonates. Now, a lot of people will mention chemtrails. What if I told you that is just to distract you from what's really going on? And I'm going to tell you. We call it the sky machine. I know, the size of it is insane. But like I said, it covers our domain. And the Sky Machine is an illusion, so to speak. I always felt this, but if you watch The Sun Man, he will break it down into great details. Now, like I said, how many of you are truly awake? How many of you are truly awake and aware? Because this goes far beyond anything you could even imagine. Billions of people are not even aware of this.
Did you guys see anything?
Not enough people are aware that Netflix is a vessel for mass psychological warfare. The co-founder of Netflix, Mark Randolph, is the great-nephew of Edward Bernays. Edward Bernays is known as the father of propaganda, and Edward Bernays himself is the nephew of Sigmund Freud, who's known as the father of psychoanalysis. So Bernays took his understanding of Freudian psychology and applied it to mass communication and manipulation of the collective unconscious. He worked for both the CIA and the military in the realm of psychological operations. And in 1928, Bernays wrote a book titled Propaganda. 5 years prior, he wrote a book titled Crystallizing Public Opinion. The cherry on top, though, is Bernays' involvement with the Vatican. Cardinal Francis Spellman, the Archbishop of New York, sent Bernays to the Vatican to learn and study the Jesuits' methods of mental programming. This visit took place in 1957. The same year, the papal bull Miranda Porcis was issued, which publicly commands all Roman Catholics to seize as much control of media as possible, whether that be through television, movies, or news outlets. For a little more context on Jesuit involvement in programming through entertainment, the Hollywood Production Code was written by Jesuit priest Daniel Lord S.J., and the Jesuits have been producing theatrical work since the time of their inception, and even helped write the works of Shakespeare through Sir Toby Matthew, who was a close friend of Francis Bacon and the Rosicrucians. So we know these guys have an affinity for programming through media. Ignoring the connection between their founder and the father of propaganda, Edward Bernays, let's examine Netflix a little further. The wife of Mark Randolph and the former CEO of Netflix was Jesuit trained at 2 different private Jesuit institutions. Other Netflix executives are also Jesuit indoctrinated, while others like Suzanne Rice and Logan Jackson are Rhodes Scholars. The Cecil Rhodes Scholarship Program is to funnel the brightest young minds to Oxford and indoctrinate them into globalist alliance. It was stated by Cecil Rhodes at the time of his death in his will that he wanted to create a secret society that was modeled after the Jesuit order. Bill Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar. I'm going to make a video all about that. I actually posted one on another account that got taken down already. Most of you could probably pinpoint in your memory a show or a movie that you thought was a bit peculiar, programming to a degree, but the truth is 90% of them are. The most obvious being things like Leave the World Behind, Don't Look Up, Stranger Things, Marriage Story, The Two Popes, and even Big Mouth. And I'm sure you haven't forgotten about the movie that's borderline child entertainment, if you will. Cuties, it was called. That's my favorite one to go back and, rewatch, research for educational purposes. But yeah, Netflix, to no surprise for most of you, I'm sure, is a vessel of mass psychological manipulation, which is no different from the videos I'm making. Who can you trust these days?
And we've come to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed these videos, crazy videos, amazing and so informative. I learned a lot. I hope you did too as well. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.